2 minutes. Now it's been 2 minutes, so I can take up to.
The Force will be with you always.
Try that again. I think the Force may have pulled Frank's cable out.
Hello there. It's the whole setup. It's the whole thing. My glasses. Hi, and welcome to a really quick Geek Spot news. Let me take my Jedi cloak off.
Oh, don't take your Jedi cloak off. Nobody's even here to appreciate it yet.
Oh, but somebody will appreciate that hello there. You appreciated it. That's all.
I did appreciate the hello there.
So we're back. We're back for a quick little pop-up show. There's been some interesting news that's popped out there in the world. And I wasn't here last week, and Jack did a phenomenal job. I listened to it on the airplane. It was a great job. I didn't watch Jack fiddle with everything, but I heard him fiddling with everything.
Great. So good. Hey, Charles, by the way.
Hey, Charles.
Good to hear from you.
So we wanted to fit this in this week, since it's a short week, and Jack's super busy doing music stuff with the family,
and Frank had a big adventure that he needs to recap.
Oh my goodness! Before I get to my big adventure, how have you been?
Been good. Just concerts for me, concerts for the kids, concerts everywhere. You know, doing the thing. If you want to see where that is, just go to Jack Kid Music. Dropping a bunch of reels and demos and all sorts of good stuff on that channel. So you can go hear me do my thing.
That's awesome. I was at Disney last week, and it rained most of the time that we were there.
That's nice.
We spent the first full day there at Galaxy's Edge, and now let me tell you, if you are a Star Wars fan in any way, shape, or form, Galaxy's Edge has everything for you. It's phenomenal. It really was. We did the ceremony to build the lightsabers, and George Lucas definitely had no part in writing that because it was amazingly written. It really was. The whole ceremony was really well done up until the end.
Oh no!
Until the end, when he mentions the new era of Jedi and he harps on Rey for a couple minutes.
Well, they got to.
Yes, they have to. And then
let's remember when this opened.
Correct. And then at the end, when the lights go out and Yoda's voice comes on and talks to you for a minute, it was cool. It was really cool. This is the you can't see it. This is the white kyber crystal that I bought. So my lightsaber's blue, and I'll show that next week. I got the blue kyber crystal for the lightsaber.
Don't want to blow your load all at once.
No. This is a Jedi holocron. Yeah? And when you turn the things.
Oh. I think that's more work than Ahsoka did to find one of those.
Yeah. And then when you press it.
Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of the Empire.
So it says a bunch of stuff. And then you can there's a place to open it up here. Where the hell is it? I don't know where it is. Yes. There's a place to open it up on the back. It's great.
Can't see
it. TV. No. So there's a place you can open it up.
Still can't see it.
I know. I had to get to the part. You open it up and you place the kyber crystal in there.
Oh.
Turn it on again. And then when you press the sides like this.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
It gives you.
I fear nothing, for all this.
Gives you a different voice. That's that one. And then of course could not just get one, I had to get the Sith one.
Of course.
And the Sith one is way easier. And the Sith one does the same. Right. So there's a Darth Vader red kyber crystal that you can put in the Sith one, and it tells you stuff in Darth Vader's voice.
Oh, that's cool.
Another time. Yeah. So we each got you can buy the kyber crystals, of course, after you get out of the thing, you go into the store, and there's regular red crystals, and then there's the crystals that have a 1 in 100 chance of being a dark crystal.
Oh,
Neither my son nor I got one of those.
like the Jim Henson Dark Crystal?
No, like the dark saber crystal.
Oh, got it.
Yes. Smuggler's Run was great. We flew the Millennium Falcon awfully. I sat in Chewie's seat, so I got to do the light speed thing. Then we went on it again later that night, and we were engineers, and Matt got 100%, and I was watching the screen and not paying attention to my buttons flashing, and I got 85%.
That sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah. Rise of the Resistance was amazing. If you get to go, it's a sensational thing from front to back. The whole thing's great. We did the Star Tours, which is the very first Star Wars thing they had there, and we got stuck on the ride for about 15 minutes. The doors wouldn't open.
It's the only Star Wars thing I've been on, but I've been on the one at Disneyland probably 30 times.
It was great.
At least. But it's also been 30 years since I was on it.
And to finish up, we went to the Magic Kingdom the second day, rode Space Mountain. Woo! That was awesome. We rode the Tron roller coaster. It's absolutely amazing. Blew my mind. We sat in the front.
Is that newer?
Yeah, that's
Is that from Legacy?
That's up. Yeah. You like kneel onto the bike, so you're like sitting on a crotch rocket, and you lean forward, and then the back closes on you, so it keeps you in place.
Gotcha.
And then later that night, we went and park hopped over to Epcot and Guardians of the Galaxy. If you do not buy a Genie Plus Lightning Lane for Guardians of the Galaxy, it is a minimum 265-minute standby wait.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous. And then I got on it and found out why. Because it is the best roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. Guy standing in line with us started talking to us. Everybody down there was wonderfully helpful. I mean, until we got to the airport, then everybody turns into a dick. But in the Magic Kingdom parks and whatnot, he's like, "Oh, do you guys like to sit? Have you ever been on this? No. Do you guys like to sit in the front?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love the front." He's like, "Sit in row 9. So if you've never been there, you want to go sit on Guardians, and you like to be in the front of the roller coaster, sit in row 9. Start you off backwards.
Oh.
And then the whole thing spins. Then the cars turn around, and now you're in the front."
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah, and the soundtrack's pretty good. There's like 4 or 5 songs that go through. We got September by Earth, Wind and Fire that played the whole time. And the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy does like little videos and like talks to you, and it's like this, there's a purpose, like there's a storyline to the ride, which is kind of neat.
Nice.
Overall, even through all the rain, it was an amazing trip. I was just the best. I want to go back in like 2 years.
I mean, the nice part about Disney is most of their rides are inside, right? They don't have as many outside as like a Six Flags or something like that.
Right. And we did do It's a Small World. I made my son sit through that.
Oh, that should be required.
Yeah, YouTube should be on, Dom. It says we're live.
It does. I think we're on Frank's YouTube page, not the Geek Spot News YouTube page.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Hang on.
Last week, no YouTube. You had to rewatch this to catch our YouTube stream. I noticed that, Frank, but I had never paid attention to it before, so I didn't realize that we were on.
Yeah, the only way to get that on there now is Jack's going to have to fix that afterwards. That was on my YouTube page. I'm sorry. I'll delete that later. We are live only on Facebook because I screwed up. Yep, got to knock the rust off. Whoop, there we go. Look at that.
Microphones are falling apart.
Dude, it's
Kyber Crystal.
It's been a trip. So we wanted to do a quick little show. Jack and I finally agree on something.
On Loki?
No. Jack and I finally agree on a movie. I didn't hear your full review of the Marvels. Can you recap it for me?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was like 15 minutes of that. Look, I thought there was opportunity still, but Aman Vellani will win me over in anything she's in. I think the rest of her life, as long as she keeps up the enthusiasm she has. And every scene she was in, I was 100% in for the Marvels.
I agree with you 100%. Like, I clipped this because the movie was fantastic to me, and I got into an argument with a couple of with about 20 or 30 different people on a Facebook page, because I went at those people and said how, look at all these manly men, like, trashing this movie because there was 3 women at the it doesn't matter who was in the movie. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. But it's a bomb. You don't understand. It's gonna be a bomb. I don't care that it bombed. I don't care that it didn't make money. It doesn't do anything for me. It was an enjoyable, fun movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. I think if people were expecting the same box office that the first one got, that wasn't going to happen, right?
No.
That was when Marvel was at its very height, and that came out between Infinity War and Endgame. Of course, everybody went to see it because they thought it was going to matter, and then we were all pissed after we went and saw it that it didn't matter to Infinity War or Endgame
Right.
at all, other than the tease that we got at the end of Infinity War.
And so the mid-credit scene. So okay,
I didn't talk about the mid-credit scene last week, really.
Awesome. I'm a big fan of Brie Larson. I really am. I like her in most of the stuff she does. I don't hate her as Captain Marvel. That's where we kind of, I think, disagree a little bit.
No, I don't dislike her as Captain Marvel. I think she's fine. I don't know the character still.
Right.
Because I think we talk about this, or it was somebody else was talking about
did.
this. But like I knew Miss Marvel really well. I knew when she was came back again as Miss Marvel with a new costume and was in the Avengers. And then I knew her more when during my run of reading she was always Binary, who was a member of the Starjammers.
Right.
Which is Corsair, Scott and Alex Summers' dad, in X-Men comics.
Right.
And then, then she went and became another character after that, and then they randomly reinvented her 13 years ago as Captain Marvel, because she had never been Captain Marvel until not that long ago.
No, because Captain Marvel was always DC.
No, Captain Marvel was Captain Marvel, which she got her original Kree technology and her powers from him back in like the mid 70s.
Right. And I'll highlight what Dom said here. Dom said she was great in Scott Pilgrim, which I have yet to see. Correct. The first movie I saw her in was 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Ice Cube.
Oh.
And the other
Ice Cube was in that?
Yeah. Ice Cube was the police chief.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Now that we have a couple minutes, and if anybody hasn't seen it, we're going to spoil the mid-credit scene, which was a pretty big deal. Do you agree that this mid-credit scene is a Thanos level reveal from the original, going through the original Avengers?
No, because I don't think the payoff's going to be there.
Okay.
Whereas, Thanos, we got Big Bad. I think this is just a tease to the movie that may or may not come out in another 3 years. Whatever Secret Kang. It goes back to what I've been saying with all this stuff from Marvel. It was great when you were setting up things that were like soon.
Right.
But now we're setting up a maybe because it's in such disarray right now. Like, I have no idea when that's going to pay off, unless this is why X-Men 97 kept getting pushed.
Because they didn't want to reveal this.
Because this plays into the cartoon, and that's the universe we're in. Like, then maybe. But other than that, I don't. It's just another tease. Like, they keep doing tease. I think I mentioned it last week. I don't know if you got there, but like, there's been so many teases of Dane Whitman becoming the Black Knight, which was 3 years ago now.
Right.
Like almost 3 full years ago, we got that tease.
Do you think if the strike didn't happen that we would have had some kind of payoff at this point?
No.
No?
Because the strike's only been a handful of months. Like
6 months.
Yeah, but it didn't push anything this year.
What about
But to go to the other to the point with people talking bad about the Marvels in general and all those kinds of things, right?
yeah,
This movie was supposed to come out 6 months ago.
right.
They kept pushing it because a lot of the feedback was also like, "Oh, well, the director didn't even stick with it and was starting another movie when she should have been doing this one." If anybody looked at the interview that she gave, she said, "Look, I spent 3.5 this movie was supposed to come out a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
So instead of 2 years into the cycle in this movie, I was expected to spend 3.5 years." She's like, "Which is not how it works. Like, not what I was gonna do."
I also think that this movie completely makes Secret Wars pointless. And I know it was supposed to come out before Secret War. Was it Secret War or Secret? I keep messing the two
Secret
up.
Invasion.
Secret Invasion. I'm sorry. I keep crossing the streams there. Secret Invasion. This was supposed to come out before Secret Invasion, right?
Yes,
Right.
originally.
So now that this comes out after Secret Invasion, it makes Secret Invasion an incredibly pointless bit of television that we suffered through, hoping it was going to be something really good, and it ended up being like the Nick Fury we got in the Marvels was an actual entertaining Nick Fury. Like I liked that Nick Fury.
Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to do with Secret Invasion because whatever they were trying to do is not what we got. I think they were trying to capitalize on like the Jack Ryans and those kinds of things and those shows and that format, and they just didn't. It, you know,
No, the timing was
didn't pay it off. Like we got in this movie, we got the scrolls are all over the galaxy. Oh, okay, cool. But before we got, they're all stuck on Earth because there's nowhere else for them to go. Wait a minute.
right. Right.
Like that wasn't even straight between the movies or between the content, which is a problem.
Okay, Dom's question. What's the last end credit scene that Marvel actually paid off? Go ahead.
What do you got?
This one's all you.
It's WandaVision.
The engineer?
No.
No?
But we'll talk about the engineer shortly or next week. Because there is one now.
There it is.
I think it was probably WandaVision.
What was
Or technically the end credits at the end of Quantum Mania, they did pay off, but it was in the show that everybody loves for some reason.
it was a throw. It was almost like a throwaway line in Loki.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally just a scene from Loki that they snipped into it. But I think the last one that paid off was WandaVision, where you go to the cabin and you see Wanda with the Darkhold
Yep.
going to town, and that pays off in Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah,
I don't
unfortunately.
even remember what the end credits was from Doctor Strange, if there was one.
I don't. Oh, it was the Shang-Chi thing, wasn't it? The Shang-Chi in the rings.
No, that was the
That
end
was
of
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
That was Shang-Chi. That could possibly pay off at some point.
Well, now that director is focusing on Shang-Chi 2 and not Kang Dynasty, because Kang Dynasty now has no director.
Nope, and no writer. The writer left too.
Yeah, so we'll see.
And a lot of people are trying to draw a line from Loki set up the dismissal of Kang. It didn't technically. That wasn't their intention because Loki, and I don't know if I don't remember if you mentioned it or not. Loki is the first Marvel show to be filmed, set, and released without any reshoots, without any rewrites. It was what it was, and it went out. I actually enjoyed the finale more the second time that I watched it, and it made me understand the show a little bit better. It did definitely drag in parts, but I understood the show a lot more, and I understood the journey of the character more, and I really do appreciate how that paid off for him.
Yeah, I think my only problem that I said with Loki, my biggest problem that I mentioned with Loki is that the fact that this isn't the Loki that we spent all that time with. We spent 2 movies with this Loki.
Right.
And this Loki, like, then we got all this growth that I guess it kind of happened on screen, off screen. But, fine. I mean, most of it happened off screen, but I also slept through most of the finale because I was so bored. So,
well, this isn't the Loki that Thor played Get Help with.
No, this is the Loki from the Avengers movie.
Correct. And I get that. And I think, I don't know. I don't think they think they expected the Loki show to go 2 seasons or to even have a show after they killed him, right? Or they had to. I guess.
Yeah, that was all. That had to all be in the works.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Because they shot those scenes from Loki when they shot
Like,
Endgame.
and it doesn't make sense that you would take the character back that far and then do regrowth with him.
No, other thing, the Doctor Strange end credits was Clea when Charlie
Oh,
Theron shows up.
okay, yeah, that's not paying off anytime soon.
No, not at all. Look, maybe it all pays off in Deadpool, and that's why that's the only movie we get next year.
I think Deadpool's the only movie we get next year because they're trying to scramble and solidify everything now.
Oh, that reminds me. There are 3 other Marvel movies coming next year. One which dropped a trailer.
What's coming?
Craven's next year. Venom 3 is next year. Madam Web.
I have not yet still watched the Madam Web trailer. I keep
Oh,
forgetting. I heard it's awful.
it is a whole thing.
I heard it's awful.
I look. Contrary to my usual takes on this show, most of the Sony movies I'm fine with.
Except Craven.
I don't like what they're going to do. The movie will be fine. It'll be a great popcorn movie. I just don't know why it needs to be Craven, because none of it holds up to Craven. It's going to be so much worse than any of the Craven plot lines that we got in Spider-Man 2,
which I haven't beaten yet, so don't.
It's fine. I already spoiled it last week. You're good.
I don't think Dom was talking to me about it a little bit last night. Said it's an incredibly
everything through it. I'm like, if Marvel could write any of their movies as well as this game is written, they would be back to making $1 billion in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Craven pulled any of that off, this Madam Web is like, it's a prequel because it's like set 20 years ago from what I understand. You get Adam Scott as Ben Parker.
Adam Scott?
Yep.
From Parks and Rec?
Yep.
Okay.
So a younger Ben, well, Dom, 100% agreed. There's no reason to not watch this movie with Julia Carpenter as Spider-Woman.
Okay.
But it's Dakota Johnson as the star as Madam Web. So it's set to future everybody up and age everybody up in a next movie if they do. But it's all, I don't know. It looks like it'll be fine. It looks like Final Destination.
Is it 50 Shades of Web?
No, I mean Sydney Sweeney's in it, so maybe. But it looks like Final Destination in a superhero movie.
Okay.
We're like, oh, this is what's going to happen. Oh, hold on. Now I'm back. Now can I change it?
Yeah.
Seems like the whole principle of it, which is, it's like Final Destination movies were fun. As long as it's fun, I don't care.
I did see that the Venom. I saw Tom Hardy was back on the set. Oh, it's okay. It's fine. Are they going to bring them over into Marvel? They kind of started with Hardy a little bit, and then they blooped them back out.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but then they brought in Michael Keaton and Vulture. So
they did.
I don't know where they're going to go. We will see if it all gets tied together somehow and pays off. Because last thing I saw is Spider-Man 4 is going to bring everything together, and then they'll launch into a different.
They'll get rid of Tom Holland and
they'll launch Miles.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think if they put it back on the schedule, we'll also get Beyond the Spider-Verse next year, which it'll be all Spider-Man stuff all the time next year.
I don't know if they put that back on. We'll have
to. They didn't yet.
No. Okay. Maybe by the time we do our next show, because there's a ton of other stuff out there. And then like I said, we wanted to do a real quick one. There's 3 big things I have that 2 of them just came announced today. So that added to this. Superman Legacy cast its Lex Luthor.
Allegedly.
More and more, it seems like he has landed the role. Michael Rosenbaum is not Lex Luthor.
Thank God.
But Nicholas Hoult is.
I'm not sure how to feel about that. How do you feel about that?
I feel like he's trying to go outside the box. He must have loved his Superman audition so much that he wanted him part of the movie, and to give him this major of a role, it's pretty telling to how much James Gunn must have liked his audition, just not enough to give him Superman. No, and Dom's right. He doesn't have the look. Jesse Eisenberg didn't have the look either. And I hated his Lex Luthor. Even when he shaved his head, I hated his Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I think the best Lex Luthor we're gonna get is gonna be from Michael Cudlitz.
Yeah.
Is gonna be the one that pulls off the Lex Luthor. Like, oh my god,
Well,
the guy from Bosch was pretty good at it too.
okay, and John Cryer was not a bad Lex Luthor.
No, but he was very akin to the Gene Hackman.
Yes.
He was like a cross between Gene Hackman and Ned Beatty, like rolled into one.
Now, wasn't he the first with the beard though?
Yes,
He's the first live action with the beard.
with the goatee. I don't know how many times he's had it in the comic. Well, Lex Luthor has also always had red hair in the comics. So
Right. But so Nicholas Hoult is neither bald nor has a beard at this point in time. Now the movie's not coming out for 2 more years, so
and I think is younger than David Cornswit, or the same age.
he might be.
Nicholas Hoult is young. He was
He-
like 19 when he first started as Beast.
Let me see. I'll tell you in 1 second how old he is. He's 33.
Okay.
And David Cornsweet is. That's not how you spell his name.
He is
I
30.
Okay, so he's 3 years older.
Oh, good. So it's a Tom Welling Rosenbaum situation. Great.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it yet. I have to see. I have to see a picture of him, like a screen. You know what I mean? I have to see.
Well, here's the disappointing part in that, right? Like, does that mean that Lex Luthor's the big bad in this movie again? Because I'm
I don't
over it.
think he's going to do that. I think he's going to make Luthor more of a background person for this movie because he's got the whole. He's got other.
He's got half of Justice League International.
Yeah,
They cast the engineer,
they did. They
which
did.
is from The Authority,
They did.
which is another movie on his roadmap that nobody's going to care about. He's going to try and do with that what he did with Guardians and Suicide Squad, but
And they
nobody's
made
going to care.
and they made 2 other castings.
What were the other 2?
Skylar Gisondo has been cast as Jimmy Olsen.
He's awesome. I love that actor.
I like the look of the guy. He looks great.
He was phenomenal in a couple things. He was in, I want to say he was in Manifest, and I know for sure he was in the Santa Clarita Diet and was amazing on the Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, okay. And Portuguese model, I'm going to butcher her name, Sarah Sampaio. Maybe I'm not going to butcher her name. Has been cast as Eve Tessmacher. She's gorgeous. She's 32. I mean, she's best known as a Victoria's Secret angel. So she must have wowed the hell out of him.
Yeah. Oh, it was Vacation he was also in. He was the new Rusty. He was the latest Rusty.
That's why he looks a little bit familiar.
And The Resort, which was a phenomenal show on Peacock that I raved about quite often.
Oh,
He was in The Social Dilemma. I don't know if you remember that we all watched during the pandemic about how bad social media for us while we were on social media watching the show.
Yes.
And yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. I'm a huge fan of his.
I like his look.
He was Gwen Stacy's younger brother in Spider-Man 2.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So
And The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, so that's 2 more castings 3 more castings, 2 for sure, 1 possibly, pretty much.
Yeah, and the engineer was just announced a few days ago.
And yes, so that's 4 all total. Before I jump to the Star Wars stuff, I have one more quick thing I want to ask you real fast because we didn't get to talk about it. The big rumor that the Fantastic Four is getting a lot of the casting rumors are starting.
I hope not.
To roll. Vanessa Kirby is supposedly the front runner to play Sue Storm.
Man, not a fan.
Okay, and the front runner for Reed Richards is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, God, I hope they don't cast him as that.
Honestly, and I saw this article somewhere and it stuck in my head that right now one of Marvel's biggest problems is money, and them throwing money at these big name actors now, which doesn't really make sense because didn't Adam Driver supposedly walk away because of money?
I don't know if that's the story, but so Pedro Pascal, 48.
Right.
You run into the same problem very quickly that you ran into with Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
And Vanessa Kirby is 35.
I don't mind her as much.
She'll feel like the child in any of these other shows that Pedro Pascal is currently doing.
I would rather them, of the 4 members of that family, cast 1 big name and 3 no names.
Yeah, I'd rather the big name be the Thing.
That's fine. I would be okay with
Um,
it. And Dom's right. I think they wasted. I think they tried to shoehorn Krasinski in there for fan service in Doctor Strange, and it took him out of actually playing the role on top of the strike and the pandemic and all of that other
because
stuff.
he's so busy. Um,
Well, it's almost time for
if
him.
anyone remembers and did not black out Wonder Woman 1984, we all got to hear Pedro Pascal try and do a regular accent.
No.
And I can't deal with that for Reed Richards. Like, I mean, it's the casting needs to be perfect for him because they are literally the first family of Marvel.
And they're going to be a tentpole for the next decade or more, or they should be.
Maybe, unless Marvel completely tanks in the next 3 years, because I could see by the time. Oh, that was the other tease that we got that I didn't even touch on last week. I don't think the Young Avengers.
Yes, that was it. That was. I like it. I saw another shit post. Someone posted a picture of who all the Young Avengers could be, and it
Oh, I think I texted that to you.
was it the one that said that this could be the first Marvel movie to make $0.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I don't. I love Haley Steinfeld, even though she's dating Josh Allen, which just get your life fixed. But I love Haley Steinfeld. I love um
Iman Vellani.
Iman Vellani, and I like America Chavez. I didn't hate her, and the girl that played Cassie was fine. And of course, if Florence isn't busy,
Yeah, but I think she's Thunderbolt, so I think she's too old.
yeah,
I was thinking she would go. I think we talked about this last week, Dom. Actually, Dom and I were discussing last week
okay,
in the chat.
yeah.
I don't know where they'll go with it. I don't know if the Secret Wars you get Wanda's kids, you get Scar, you get. I mean, there's some they can cast, but they need to balance out the team. Otherwise, they're going to run into the same issue they're running into with the Marvels.
And I also really don't want to see them bring back Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, maybe a cameo. Throw me a cameo, but I don't.
I mean, they'll be in Secret Wars. I guarantee you they'll be in Secret Wars.
Don't need them.
Though I don't know how you film Secret Wars at this point because now the cast is like, and the rumors are so huge.
Yeah,
and it's so much money, and it's. I don't think Iger will let them have the open checkbook that they have squandered the last few years with like the Eternals and paying all these A-list actors.
Right. Maybe we'll get an answer to the giant statue in the middle of the ocean.
Nope.
Movies.
Nope. No, they'll multiverse that away.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do.
Loki. Well, it's fine because Loki actually erased every Marvel show because his green, golden, or whatever emerald timeline. I don't know if he knows anything that happened after his after Avengers.
That's true.
So maybe everybody's fine.
Maybe that was their plan all along to get everybody excited about stuff and then just hit the button and go bloop.
Because Cap never went because that timeline, didn't thread off that way. Or maybe it did. Or is it a multiverse or is it a timeline? I don't know.
Nobody knows now.
Because now in the Marvels, we got a multiverse. We got another dimension. Not another timeline, another dimension. So now we're ignoring all of the timeline talk that we've spent talking about for 7 movies. And now we're back into dimensions.
Right.
Maybe.
Didn't somebody somewhere along the line talk about incursions?
Yes, that was at the end of Multiverse of Madness.
And bleeding through?
Yep, when we were multiverse.
Yes.
But is that a dimension or is that a timeline? But I thought Loki was dealing with all those things. But no, he was dealing with time. I don't know.
Somebody must have erased part of Feige's whiteboard in his secret room.
It's a mess.
And now he's scrambling to figure it all out.
It's a mess.
The last thing, this was kind of popped up on the radar today. So it's a little bit of we'll see how Jack feels about it. Dave Filoni of Star Wars fame, was promoted to Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm. What this means for Dave Filoni is his previous role had him coming in at the end of a show to look over stuff. Now he is at the narrative forefront of all things Star Wars. So it's Kathleen Kennedy, and then it's him, basically.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Take Ahsoka out of the picture for a second.
Oh, but can I?
No.
Look, I like Filoni a lot. I think he gets a little too fangirly for my taste. And I think the biggest thing is I have not seen from him solid short-term storytelling. Right. And I think we're there's so much content coming from so many directions now that it's not like it was even 15 years ago when the Clone Wars was coming out and you can slow burn something. Even when the Marvel Universe started, right? There was no streaming.
Right.
Right. I didn't have 37 options every time I turned on the TV as to where I wanted to go watch content.
No.
Let alone if I want to go to a movie, maybe. But I haven't seen his ability to like I said, do concise, tight storytelling and get me to a great ending yet. Because even the Clone Wars, like he knew where it was ending.
We do get a lot of lovely scenery.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
Well, I like it personally. I think it's a good move. I think that if he's the creative force driving Star Wars, it's got a chance of being better than the last 3 movies were. Because if that's that's Kathleen Kennedy's legacy is those 3 movies, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, that's where if this is where he comes in and Ahsoka kind of starts, well, the Mandalorian and Ahsoka kind of start, well, I guess Clone Wars starts his legacy. But the live action stuff is the Mandalorian he had a big hand in, and Ahsoka was all his. And according to Rosario Dawson, he's quietly working on an outline for Ahsoka season 2 before his movie.
Great.
That's not official and it hasn't been announced, but she said that as early as Star Wars Celebration in London last year, they had been talking about the movie that he was getting, and she figured that would mean a season 2, and she had talked to him and he was doing an outline.
Well, hopefully he has reworked that outline since then and figured out how to write for the characters in a way that's a little more exciting.
Well, yeah, and you have to figure what to do about Ray Stevenson too.
Yeah, I think you got to recast him. He talked about that today and said there's so much. He's like, I wish that Ray would have been around to see how everybody reacted to his character and the love that character's gotten.
Yeah.
But there's so much. He also said, Ray was playing him like he was the hero, and he was like, Ray, you're the villain, and Ray's like, this character is not the villain.
Oh.
But Filoni had him like a bad guy.
Right.
But that's not how Ray Stevenson saw him or played the character, which is kind of cool.
No, I like that.
So we'll see what they do with it. I don't know.
I
don't trust him.
I trust him more than I trust Kathleen Kennedy at the helm. To at least it'll be. I guess hopefully it'll be.
I mean, look, she swung big.
She did.
And there was some great moments in there. She's turned it over to some of the wrong people. She trusted JJ to write the ship at the end, and JJ was like, "I'm just going to ignore everything in the last movie and write my own movie. Screw you!" Like that. That was the biggest disconnect, I think, is what JJ did with the third one. Everybody blames Last Jedi, but if you would have carried on those thoughts through, into the third movie and given them a conclusion, I think people would have had a lot less hate for that movie after everything was said and done.
I think if Rian Johnson had not deviated so far from what JJ kind of started to set up, you also would have had a little bit more cohesion.
Yeah.
I can't get over the Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder thing. I just that to me was the end of that movie for me at the very beginning. Him doing that was just like, and we've talked about that a billion times.
You can go view our historical episodes if you'd like to hear that conversation.
Yes.
I think that was on our old podcast, Nerd Revolution Radio, where we actually covered
Yes.
Rise of Skywalker when it came out.
Yep. That's when you had the book, right?
I did. I still have it. It's over there.
Yeah.
Over there. Anyway.
But that was it. I wanted to do a quick little show. Next week you're not here.
Nope.
I'm going to ask Dom to kind of sit in.
Oh.
I'm sure there's a ton of news I didn't grab today, and I wanted to do this just really fast before the holiday. So
And there's some other exciting stuff coming out and dropping and all those things too going into the weekend. Speaking of the holiday, hey, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
yes.
Enjoy the time with your families. Enjoy the long weekend if you get it. If you're looking for something to do, you can always check out jackkidmusic.com, like I said, or tell a friend, tell everybody at your family dinners to go check out Geek Spot News anywhere they get their podcasts. Or there'll be a couple clips on YouTube, and Frank's going to holocron us out.
Yeah, that's all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for finding the Geek Spot. We'll see you soon.